Night hangs over the Florida Straits, black water under a darker sky. A warm wind moves in slow breaths, as if careful not to wake the sea. Somewhere in that darkness, a flight checks in, and then the air grows thin. A familiar call sign, steady and routine. Then a pause that stretches too long, like a breath held past comfort. Silence enters the story, quiet enough to be missed. A Douglas DC-3, registration NC16002, sets out along a well-known corridor. A workhorse born of rivets and discipline, trusted with the ordinary. 32 aboard, crew and passengers aimed for the lights of Miami. The calendar reads late 1948, a year closing under tired skies. Air travel is dependable, nimble, still learning where its limits hide. Crews lean on radio ranges, compasses, and judgment honed by hours. In San Juan, runway lamps glow like beads of amber on wet asphalt. Tools click shut, paperwork is stamped, and the checklist ends in calm. On the ramp, 2 propellers idle, waiting to bite into humid air. The plan is simple: climb, level, and cross open water in the night. Islands to the west, not far, but far enough, a coast beyond the dark. Wind forecasts look gentle, cloud layers thin, everything by the book. Inside the tower, porcelain mugs leave rings on maps. Controllers draw pencil lines, trace estimates, and mark arrival times. It feels like every other night, in a business built on repetition. But calm can hide a bend in the road no one sees coming. There is no trumpeted warning, only routine moving forward. And somewhere along that line, routine will break without a sound. This is not a legend at birth, it begins as a schedule. A night crossing, 1,000 times flown, with no reason to worry. And yet, by dawn, a new question will shadow the water. A routine trip to Miami, the kind crews don't remember. Until one refuses to end. And the sky keeps the rest. December 28, 1948. A warm Caribbean night, air thick with salt and quiet. San Juan's lights smear along the tarmac as if melted by heat. The hour feels unhurried, like a page turning softly. The DC-3 waits with the patience of machines that know their work. Aluminum skin catches the floodlights in faint ripples. The doors close, latches click, and the cabin hush settles in. The crew moves with practiced economy, no wasted motion here. Charts folded, headings briefed, fuel verified in steady numbers. Radios murmuring in their headsets, green lamps blinking awake. Passengers find seats, slide bags overhead, exchange small glances. Some are returning home, others chasing work, weather, or new chances. The aisle narrows into anticipation, the kind that rides on trust. Outside, ground crew give final hand signs under the wing. The props come alive, a clean rhythm beating the night flat. Sodium yellow light gives way to darkness at the edge of the ramp. Inside the cockpit, the glow is gentle and warm. Needles align, levers advance, and the engine song smooths out. Checklists end with the ritual words only the crew needs to hear. Weather reports drift across the frequency in calm tones. No storms on the path, only scattered cloud and a soft headwind. The night promises nothing dramatic, nothing that would make a headline. Takeoff roll, a steady push, the runway lights racing backwards. Vibration softens as lift takes hold, wheels reaching for sky. San Juan folds into a grid, slipping behind the wing like a memory. Climb out is unhurried, the horizon a black seam across the windshield. Altitude builds, the cabin breathes easier, the engines settle to cruise. The ocean beneath lies still, an immense sheet of unmarked ink. On the airway, radio calls pass like measured footsteps. Freighters, island hoppers, and weather stations weave a quiet chorus. Everything sounds like it should, ordinary, predictable, shared. The crew keeps their pace, scan, cross-check, trim, watch and wait. The airplane moves like a metronome, each mile a tick in darkness. Confidence, not bravado, comfort, not complacency. A gentle nostalgia lives here, in the way machines used to fly. A hand on a throttle, the other on a chart folded to fit. Skill in the wrists, and faith that the night is fair. As Flight NC16002 climbed into the darkness, the ocean waited below, silent, endless, and watching. Later, the coast draws nearer, at least on paper. Position reports mark an invisible line against an invisible sea. The airplane is right where it should be until it isn't. A final routine message pushes through static like a voice in wind. An estimate, a distance remaining, a plan to change frequency. Nothing urgent, nothing dramatic, just the business of flying at night. Miami listens, pencils poised over a grid of times and tracks. The reply should come almost immediately, a small swing of the dial. Instead, the radio returns with a burr, then a hollow breath. Static grows teeth, tearing words into syllables and fragments. A request repeats, thinner now, as if falling down a well. VHF and low-frequency ranges blur together under noise. Over the wing, air crinkles into light chop, a heartbeat's interruption. Cockpit lights blink with the engine's pulse, a dim and steady flicker. Every instrument holds its place, but the radio won't hold a voice. In 1948, there is no cockpit voice recorder to play back. No transponder to paint a number on a radar scope. Coverage along the route is patchwork, at best, and the night is large. Controllers scan the boards, call again, and wait for the carrier tone. The room hears the tick of clocks and the drone of other flights. The absence of one sound becomes the loudest sound of all. The airplane should be descending, power should be easing back. Generators on older transports can stop charging at low RPM. A weak battery becomes weaker at the worst moment. Wind can push without leaving a fingerprint. A few degrees off course, a few minutes longer than planned. An ocean big enough to hide a city, and a flight small enough to lose. Requests go out to other aircraft relay if you hear them. Frequencies are tried, then tried again, while pencils press harder. The air never answers clearly enough. Then, nothing. No distress call. No radar echo. Just silence and the sound of history being erased. Dawn opens like a curtain on a stage of water. Search planes lift into a sky bleaching from slate to pearl. Below, the Atlantic drifts, quiet as stone, endless as thought. Coast Guard cutters carve grids into coordinates and hope. Aerial crews fly creeping lines, wingtip close to the horizon's seam. Engines thunder, headsets buzz, eyes ache in the salt-bright glare. Navy vessels join, along with merchant ships and private boats. They comb the straits where traffic never really stops. No splash marks, no oil sheen that leads to answers. In Miami, families gather near telephones that never ring. In San Juan, questions pool in hallways and kitchens. Names become lists, and lists become headlines. Newspapers frame the mystery before the facts can settle. Photographs of the missing right above fold lines and questions. The words vanished and unexplained do work they do not deserve. Search coordinators adjust drift models and endurance math. Winds, currents, and last known points become a shifting puzzle. Every hour without debris becomes a heavier kind of silence. Air crews report glints and wakes that fade into nothing. Ships send back bearings, then revise them, then start again. The ocean answers in riddles, and the riddle keeps its prize. Night falls, and the coastline lamps look far away. Fuel drums thud as they empty into hoses and tanks. The next wave of sorties lifts, hopeful against the odds. Day after day, the grid expands like breath held too long. There is no shallow water here to draw easy lines. Only the deep, and the stubborn patience it demands. After days of searching, the sea gave nothing back, only questions, and the whisper of what once flew above it. When facts go missing, stories hurry to fill the gap.